In a recent lawsuit, Josh Duggar's fellow prisoner alleges that inmates use drugs in the yard and complains about mold on the ceiling. In the past, the prison has been accused of having cruel conditions. In a complaint against the Dallas, Josh Duggar's fellow prisoner has voiced concerns about the alleged deterioration of facilities and drug use. Penitentiary in Texas. Josh, 37, is incarcerated at FCIC Gavel for 151 months for child pornography. The U.S. Sun can exclusively disclose that the Federal Bureau of Prisons facility is the target of a shocking lawsuit. According to the inmate's February 2025 complaint, SMDK2 when I first got to the yard. On July 6, 2024, I stopped smoking it. K2 is a synthetic substance that resembles marijuana. The medical professionals only checked my vitals while the detainee claimed to have had a seizure. They have me in this 100-year-old building with mold in these cells and air vents, the complaint claimed. Since I had my seizure on January 16, 2025, I have been talking about it constantly, but they are doing nothing about it. Continue requesting that cells with less or no mold be moved. They pretend not to hear me. Grand Prairie claims to take employee misconduct seriously, but they continue to treat me in the same manner. I haven't even got the opportunity to meet my daughter. The prisoner was directed by the court to submit his complaint within 30 days on the appropriate form. The court rejected the complaint without prejudice once the deadline passed. FCIC Gavel's representative refused to comment to the U.S. Sun. Cruel circumstances. In the past, FCIC Gavel has been accused of severe conditions. A prisoner had previously filed a complaint against the U.S. Sun, alleging cruel conditions at the facility. Inmate Wawadino Peterson filed a complaint on February 26, 2024, alleging that the prison's meals was contaminated with maggots. Additionally, he claimed by offering an email stating that for the third consecutive day, he was refused medical attention to be evaluated for seizures or other brain-related problems. In response to the email, Health Services gave him the hours that he could see a doctor and suggested that he talk to the nurse on his unit. Wadino accused the warden in an email on November 22, 2023, of cruel living circumstances since November 21, raw sewage inside the jail for 24 hours, and forcing me to live with sewage. His request was $4.494.6883. Gavel FCIC did not reply to the litigation, and the matter was dropped. The U.S. Sun was previously informed by a source that because the prison does not always hold sick call on the designated days, inmates frequently experience medical negligence. According to the source, my family member's disability hasn't been treated medically in 2.5 years. They keep informing him that he is on the list even though he has requested. For more than a year, he has been waiting for an appointment with an optometrist for glasses, but he has yet to receive any. One of my relatives has episodes of getting a cold or CO, and occasionally it takes him a few days to receive any kind of care. According to the insider, someone I know said her husband is always sick because he's just constantly always cold and undernourished. At the time, the U.S. Sun asked FCIC Gavel for comment on sick call housing arrangements, but FCIC Gavel did not reply. Additionally, the insider earlier informed the U.S. Sun that the prisoner's living circumstances make them more vulnerable to sickness. The U.S. Sun was informed by the source that the food they receive frequently expires. They're like milk and disgustingly always at least a few weeks past their expiration date. Various things that don't have a long shelf life. There was a batch of cereal that was contaminated with bugs, making it impossible for humans to eat it. The insider went on to claim that food runs out at the prison rather frequently. According to the source, there has only ever been 1 or 2 days at a time, but the servings are also so tiny that you will go hungry if you are unable to pay for the food at the commissary. The living circumstances of Josh. According to earlier reports, Josh, the U.S. Sun, resides in a renovated dorm with exclusive facilities and benefits. They completed painting the walls and arranging flowers in Josh's dorm number 6. The U.S. Sun was informed by a source that it had been converted into an honors dorm. They receive building renovations and additional perks due. The dorm is an honors one. Microwaves, dryers, and other appliances are available. They are attempting to establish a model prisoner hostel. Fight of appeal. However, the U.S. Sun had already reported on Josh's desire for counsel to file another appeal on May 12, despite the luxe living conditions. According to court documents, Josh asks the Honorable Court to assign counsel to help with the evaluation and maybe the preparation of a motion. Josh asserted that there are intricate constitutional and evidentiary difficulties in his case, especially with regard to court decisions and tactical choices made throughout the trial process, mistakes in forensic evidence admission, and possible Brady violations. These concerns might be pertinent to a collateral attack, and it takes knowledgeable legal counsel to carefully examine and assess every possible basis for relief. He asserted that new legal theories and tactics that could be pertinent to the defendant's case had surfaced in public conversation since his trial in 2021. Considering these, moreover, in order to thoroughly assess the possibilities of these new tactics and how they can support a move for relief, the defendant aims to confer with the counsel. Josh claimed he doesn't have the tools or legal expertise to conduct a thorough investigation. The defendant asks the counsel to analyze the record, consider any potential constitutional concerns, and if there are good reasons, prepare and file a Section 2255 motion, a motion to overturn a conviction or sentence. Josh added that my present financial situation prevents him from affording legal representation. The document was closed. Given the intricacy of my case and the statutory deadline's immediacy, I requested that the court give my request some thought. A request for comment from the U.S. Sun was not answered by Josh's attorneys, who represented him in his child pornography case. He then pleaded with the federal court in Arkansas to provide him a new legal team, so that he may submit a new motion by June 24, 2025. The American Sun received a letter from Josh begged Judge Timothy L. Brooks, who presided over his trial, for assistance with the request. The letter started on May 12, 2025. I hope you are doing well as I write this. I'm writing to formally submit a motion asking for counsel appointment. I am presently behind bars and acting pro air, which translates to on his own behalf. I ask the court to help me find legal representation to assess my case and, if necessary, draft a request to overturn, vacate, or amend my conviction and sentence. While I was since jail, I have made a concerted effort to prioritize my education, spiritual development, and family relationships. But after looking over my case, I think there are important problems with evidentiary decisions, trial errors, and other constitutional infractions that call for a careful post-conviction review. I seek the expertise of knowledgeable counsel to help me determine whether relief is warranted, because I am unable to adequately consider these things on my own. Josh then asked the court to provide the motion and assign lawyers with the specific intent of helping me assess and get ready for a possible motion. Since his sentencing in May 2022, Josh has fought to get the conviction overturned and has insisted on his innocence. In October 2022, Josh first appealed the conviction. His plea for a new trial was turned down by the 8th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in August 2023. In June 2024, the Supreme Court formally rejected the conviction appeal. Josh's release date has been rescheduled, according to an exclusive report from the U.S. Sun, between October 2, 2032, and December 23, 2032 and before. Josh's offense. In April 2021, he was taken into custody and accused of receiving and possessing child pornography. In May, he was convicted and given a 151-month sentence in federal prison. In June 2022, the former star of 19 Kids and Counting was moved to FCI Sago. He is still wed to his 36-year-old wife, Anna, with whom he has 7 children. We appreciate you viewing this video. Kindly subscribe to our channel.